Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex or Nuzz here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you must-have items to bring to Zamorak, to ED4, to make your runs much smoother, much faster, and just all around easier, or maybe even get you some more loot. So this is kind of going to be a video just showing you items that are super useful to bring along with you and how you can actually use them. I won't just be telling you about the items, I'll tell you how I actually use them during each run and what they do. So kind of like a little tip video for Zamorak with these items. I did something similar when Zuck was released, so I hope you guys will enjoy this. I hope it'll help you. Make sure to subscribe because over 70% of you actually aren't subscribed. So let's see if we can get to 30K. Also like the video if this helped you out, and let's get into these items. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is those giant pesky demons that you have to fight, the ones with all that health. Yes, those demons are really annoying. They're really annoying to kill, and there's a ton of them, and the higher your enrage gets, the more health they get. These are some of the things that you can spend a long time on, especially when there's like 2 or 3 in certain areas. So a fast way to actually speed up your dungeon runs and kill these much faster, one is you can bring a dark light if you're meleeing, which is really useful, or the best way I found when I'm ranging is to bring a bow with Joss Demonbane arrows. Now these are the new tier 95 arrows. They cost around 2 to 3k each. They're not super expensive, but they'll still cost you a little bit to use. And when fighting demons, all attacks deal plus 30% damage and plus 20% hit chance. So really powerful. When I brought these and made the switch to them in my duos, we were killing the demons so much faster. So if you have a decent bow, bring these arrows because you're going to kill these demons so much faster. I was hitting 10Ks. They're super good, and this should speed up your clearing of the mobs a lot. Speaking of clearing the mobs, you want to use AoE abilities, of course, as much as possible, but if you're ranging, bring something like Mechanized Chinchompas is also going to drastically speed up your runs. If you bring these Chinchompas, you can basically go into like the little buildings around while you're, running through the dungeon and kind of stack up all the monsters and then just chin them down. This also works if you're maging without Chinchompas. You can use Tsunami and AoE abilities, and the same is for melee as well. So making sure you either use something like Mechanized Chinchompas or you use those AoE abilities is really going to help speed up your runs too. Now a very important item that you're going to want to get is the Infernal Puzzle Box. Now I'll show you exactly where to pick this up on the screen and also link it in the description, but you get this from the dungeon itself, and you want to make sure that you have this in your inventory because when you have it in your inventory, it has 40% reduced environmental damage within the Infernus. So, when you're doing Zammy the boss fight and you have to go in and kill that little minion, you're going to take 40% less damage. Now this puzzle box is also going to be useful in the future because this looks like it will have more perks, kind of like the Shadow Pontifex ring. So you'll get a perk after completing the new Daughter of Chaos quest that comes this August. So this is something you're going to want to have with you on all your runs to get that damage reduction. But as the months go on, you'll be able to progress and get even more upgrades, I'm assuming, for Zamorak. So do not sleep on this and make sure you get this and bring this with you. So something else you want to bring with you that's really nice is Dominion Mines. Now the reason Dominion Mines are so useful is because of the mini boss during this elite dungeon. During the elite dungeon, you'll run into Maphis, the jailer mini-boss in the Undercity, and this mini-boss, basically, you'll deal damage to it, and it'll teleport to different floors. It's probably one of the most annoying mini-bosses, or annoying parts of the dungeon, if you ask me, but something you can do is you can actually use Dominion Mines on him. You can put 2 down, and it'll deal 20k damage, and this just kind of speeds it up so you don't have to tank a bunch of damage from his minions, so you can kill him faster. So bringing Dominion Mines is very useful, specifically for the jailer mini boss. And of course, if you don't know how to get Dominion Mines, I will link them below in the description so you can, look at all the details and stuff, but I kind of just want to get to the point of all these tips and how to help you during the dungeon. So something else you're going to want to have that's kind of self-explanatory, but it really helps is having Bladed Dive, Double Surge, and maybe even Barge abilities. These abilities like Bladed Dive and Surge is going to help you progress through the dungeon much faster. We all want want faster kills. We all want to progress faster through the dungeon and make the most GP per hour. So that'll really help you. Having something like Barge, you can even barge a, minion or, monster to move through the dungeon faster as well. So having all these is pretty self-explanatory, but it's really going to help you get through this dungeon faster and get to Zamorak faster. Now next is one that I've mentioned before, but I thought I'd mention it here just because of how good it is, which is the Demon Slayer ability and the Demon Slayer perk. These are basically good in tandem with the Demonbane arrows. These are going to allow you to kill those big annoying demons much faster. You can just use the ability every time it's on cooldown or every time you're fighting one of those giant demons. It doesn't work on the Zami boss, but it does work during the dungeon. So again, this is really good for speeding up your runs. So when doing the Zamorak boss itself, something you could bring to help you out is a defender. This is nice because it allows you to still do a really good amount of damage, but also have your defensives available at all times, like resonance, reflect, things like that. You'd be surprised how much defensives help. Of course, barricade doesn't help as much at Zamorak because it really doesn't work for anything, but other defensives can be really useful. So having a defender can help you get through the boss fight, even if you're not doing it super smoothly or dealing, a ton of damage. It can help you get those first kills and kind of figure out mechanics. So bringing a defender can be very useful. Something else you should be bringing along with you is Lucky Charms. Now this isn't going to help you get faster kills or faster runs, but it will help you get more loot. So you can of course buy these Lucky Charms for dungeoneering tokens. They actually cost more than the other Elite Dungeon Lucky Charms. They cost, I believe, 15k each, but these can get you some nice things. I got some Serenic skills before. You can get those nice slivers to basically upgrade things like your Inquisitor staff and stuff like that, so that's really nice. So bring these Lucky Charms can increase your money that you make, and we don't know, maybe there's some crazy rare drop you can get from Lucky Charms. We know for like ED3 there's that shadowy egg drop that's ultra rare that you can get. So the boss has only been out for 48 hours now, so there could be some really good drops there. We don't really know yet. So I just bought a bunch of Lucky Charms and bring them with me, so I would recommend that you do the same if you have those spare dungeoneering tokens. Something else that I highly recommend as an item that you bring with you to Zamorak, at least the boss fight, is a Powerburst of Vitality potion. These are super cheap and you can kind of use it as a panic potion. So if you're panicking or you're going to get hit by a big attack, you can click it and usually survive. It's going to raise your HP a ton. This is also very useful for once you get to 100% in Rage Zamorak. Super useful and definitely needed. But even the lower in rages, if you're going to get hit by something big and you maybe don't have time to get a defensive up or something like that, maybe you don't have a defensive, you're running out of food, this can and will save your life. So make sure that you bring a vitality potion with you. It is so worth it, and it's really cheap as well, so it's not like you're going to be spending a lot of money on this. Now something else you want to keep in mind is you do want to bring Cinderbane gloves and weapon poison when you're running the dungeon, because the minions and creatures in there are not immune to poison, but it is worth noting you will want to switch off of those when you go to fight Zamorak the boss, because Zamorak the boss is immune to poison. So that was a mistake I made. I was using Cinderbane gloves for the entire thing, but actually once you get to Zamorak the boss, they don't do anything. So make sure you switch to Nightmare Gauntlets or whatever mage gloves or melee gloves you usually use, because you're not going to get any benefit from that poison. And I know this is kind of rapid fire here, but the last thing that I found really useful was Penance Powder, just because when you're, going through this big elite dungeon, when you're learning the boss, prayer is kind of the last thing on your mind. So a lot of times my prayer was dropping because I was so focused on everything else going on. So if you bring Penance Powder and use it, you're going to keep your prayer up pretty easily just from the residual damage that you're going to be taking. So it's going to be one less thing to worry about. So that can really help you if you're somebody who has trouble focusing on a ton of stuff at once when doing a boss. I know sometimes that happens to me. It can get overwhelming with everything going on. So Penance Powder can really help you there. So yeah, not a super long video. I wanted to kind of pack in all the info I could, but if it helped you guys out, make sure you leave a like. Of course, if there's any items I've missed, which I'm sure there are because there's probably a ton of helpful things, make sure to leave that below so we can help everyone out, help everyone get their kills. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Again, my friend and duo partner Bizuda7 has a guide for doing 0 to 100% Zammy. It's a really good guide. He always makes great in-depth guides, so I'll leave that in the description and in the pinned comment as well if you guys need a guide for Zamorak to help you out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.